Two Cows Gaming fans, we have arrived at episode 11. I've been waiting to do this one for a long time. Today we are talking about retro RPGs. There are literally so many to choose from, but I got 5 really good ones I want to talk about, and then one that is really near and dear to my heart that I'm going to play. There's just so much to get into, so we'll be right back after a short break, and we'll get into it. All right, Two Cows Gaming fans, we're back. Before we get into the games, as always, I got to do a little bit of housekeeping. As you're watching this or listening to this podcast, please put your comments in where you're supposed to. Let me know about shows that you'd like me to do or games that you'd like me to cover. I try to do one genre per week, so if you've got a genre you think I should play or check out, just put it in the comments. Also, while you're there, please hit that like and subscribe. That way you'll get updates as to whenever a new podcast drops, or in the case of my YouTube channel, any kind of shorts or game reviews. The next thing I would say is please click on the video and podcast description, because that's going to have links to all of my social media and all of the places where you're going to find information. Everything Two Cows Gaming. It's got the blog, it's got the Facebook page, it's got the TikTok, it's got YouTube, it's got literally everything you need to know on how to get information about Two Cows Gaming. Now, I'm not going to be streaming, or I didn't stream today because I'm getting over a cold. You can probably hear that in my voice. I will be back streaming next week, Sunday, but I just wanted to let you know I am fighting a cold, so there's going to be no streams this week until I get over it. But other than that, I do enjoy feedback. You can hit me up on my socials, or you can rate your comments in the comment section of this video and this podcast, because I always am looking for ways to improve. But with that, we're going to jump into the games. I've got 5 really good ones I'm going to talk about, and then probably one of the best adaptations of a tabletop role-playing game that I've ever played on a console. So I'll be back after a break. So like I said, I've got 5 great games to talk about today. Number 5 is Breath of Fire 2. It was published by Capcom. To me, this is a fantastic Japanese RPG. It's a direct sequel of Breath of Fire. It's a continuation of the story. There are 9 different playable characters. It's visually one of the best looking RPGs out there for the era. This was originally published on the Super NES, both in Japan, North America, and the UK. Again, I love it because it's just visually gorgeous. The variety of characters, the size of the game, and the story is really engaging. About the only criticism that I have for this game is that it can get pretty grindy as you're playing. The dungeons can be kind of difficult if you aren't at level to go into them, and you do need to get some good items for your characters so that they have the best survivability. It was published in 1995. The publisher is Capcom. And it was kind of the rival for the Final Fantasy series, and I thought that they did a great job. Now, this section is black and white because it's a dream sequence, but the colors in this game are wonderful. They are vibrant. They really pop off the screen. The controls and the UI of the game are very easy to navigate and easy to use. It does have a timed-based element for your attacks, so kind of in the same vein as Final Fantasy. Once you get to a certain level or a certain time limit, then you can unleash a power attack. There's also a dragon counter on it, so like once your main character gets to a certain level or a certain energy level, he can unleash a beast attack. But there's a lot of great play elements in this game. You can get it on Nintendo Switch. It's part of their online offerings. This is actually the version that's on the Switch Online, so it's kind of geared for HD, but you can also pick up the cartridge. But that is a collector's item, and you're going to pay premium dollar if you want it complete in box. I could go on, but you get the idea. This is a fantastic RPG to add to your collection, and the fact that you can play both Breath of Fire and Breath of Fire 2 as part of Nintendo's online package makes it worth it. It was originally released on the Super Nintendo, then they released it again on the Wii Shop and the Wii U Shop, and now it's also part of Nintendo Switch Online. So we're going to skip that one, and we're going to move into the next one. Now, this is a game I don't have a lot of familiarity with, but one of my friends talked about how awesome this series was. And this game was also published by Capcom. This is Wizardry 5. It is a very brutal role-playing game. If you like punishing games, I would say this is a Souls-like before there was even a Souls game. The difficulty is much similar. You create a party of 6 characters, and at the start, there's only a handful of classes you can choose from. You can choose from Warrior, Thief, Wizard, and Cleric, but eventually you actually are able to change their professions to different types. And it uses a point-buy system to get your stats. Again, visually, at the time, it was a fantastic game. It has not aged well. The Wizardry games could really use a reboot, I think. But if you like punishing games that are roguelike... Now, this isn't really a roguelike necessarily, but it is very difficult to play. The thing that's cool about this is that it was a first-person RPG. Those were not really widely available until later on. This game was originally published in 1993 on the SNES. It continues the story from Wizardry 1 through 3. Now, 4 was kind of an outlier. It was done by a different publisher, and the game doesn't really meld into the series. It's not a continuation, but this one's a direct continuation of 1 through 3. I like the sound effects. I like the visuals. The controls are really kind of ahead of its time. It's just one of those games that if you're into that kind of genre where it's punishing, go for it. Me personally, the big criticism is the brutal difficulty, and it's not very intuitive. You got to kind of fumble through the menus to get to where you need to go. And it doesn't really give you any direction on where you need to go. You just got to kind of fumble your way through the city and through the different menus to find out what you need. And buying things is kind of a pain, especially when you don't have any gold. But, if you can get through the first part of the game and get your characters up a few levels, then you can really start to enjoy it. But again, if you get frustrated easily by difficult games, I would avoid this one because it is punishing. Game number 3 is the first of 2 Squeenix games that make an appearance on this list. This is Xenogears for the PlayStation 1. This was originally released in 1998. It was developed as part of Final Fantasy VII, but then they went in a different direction with it, and this became its own game. It's one of the first games where you get to combine regular combat with humans and combat with mech. They're called gears. It uses the same basic combat system as Final Fantasy VII. The big difference being that there is the gears battles where you're in your power armor or your robot, and then there's the regular battles. It has cinematics, which were kind of pioneered effectively with the Final Fantasy VII game. But this has kind of got its own thing going on. I thought it was kind of funny when I was watching this opening cinematic because it reminded me so much of Robotech. I mean, even the captain of the ship looks like Henry Global from the Robotech series. You even have 3 bridge bunnies, so to speak, who look a lot like Lisa Hayes and the other 2 from the original Robotech series. It has great visuals, as far as character modeling and the monsters that you fight. Um, you know, it, what's not to love? Mecha battles. That's all I have to say. Um, it's a traditional JRPG where you level up your characters and you explore and you it's kind of linear, but there are some big open areas that you can explore. The big thing that I would criticize is it introduced an adjustable camera. It was one of the things that they learned from Final Fantasy VII, that players would miss things going through the environments, and they added an adjustable camera to this game, and it just feels disorienting. It's hard to kind of get around. Now, the other criticism I have is there's just way too much exposition in this game. I played this for an hour and a half, and I never got out of the main town. Now, I've played this game plenty of times before, so it's, I'm used to it, but when you're first starting out, it's easy to get discouraged because of the exposition. The first hour and a half, like I said, is just learning your way around the first town, learning who the people are, getting your tutorials done, and it can be a bit frustrating. The other thing I would say is, much like most JRPGs, this one is kind of grindy. And you don't even really get to enjoy the use of mecha battles until much later in the game. You get to taste it for the first time early in the game. You have one little kind of battle between the main character Faye and a mystery vehicle, but that's the extent of it. You have to adventure and unlock the gears, and then you can start kind of building on that. But overall, it's a great game. It's easy to lose, 50, 60, 70 hours into it, just having fun. And you won't be disappointed if you pick this game up. Now, I bought it several years ago. I got it as a sealed package. Now, mine is the greatest hits version. But, if you want a black label copy, it's going to cost you quite a bit. But I picked up the greatest hits version for about $40. And it's a 2-disc game. Now, I'm playing this, full disclosure, I'm not playing this on a PlayStation 1. I am playing this on my Polymega, so you kind of can see what's going on there. The other games that I've played in here that are part of this list are either played on the Xbox, the Nintendo Switch, or my Polymega. But as you can see, the Polymega does very well with the PlayStation discs. The visuals are nice and clear. Not that I'm trying to sell more Polymega, but I just am kind of offering my criticism or my critique of the Polymega system, and I absolutely love it. It's exceeding my expectations, but again, it is prohibitively expensive. But as you can see, it plays PlayStation 1 games very well. So moving on, we are going to move into a game that is an absolute classic. It blew my mind the first time I played that, and that is Phantasy Star 3 for the Sega Genesis. Again, this is being played on the Xbox Series X as part of the Sega Mega Drive collection. This was originally released in 1991 in North America. It's Sega's answer to Final Fantasy games. I love it because of the music, the visuals, the enemy variety. There's multiple generations of PCs. You can choose a couple of different characters to marry, and then they have children, and the game changes based on your decisions on who gets married and that kind of thing. But it's such a great game. It's just beautiful to look at. The story is pretty engaging. It's a big world to explore. There's a lot of things to do. I guess the big criticism I have is that there is way too much walking. There's not really a fast travel option in this game, and leveling can be grindy. There are certain areas that you go into and you just get your butt handed to you. You really need to manage your inventory and manage your weapons and armor so that you're ready for every battle. But again, it is a very pretty game to play. I remember when I first played it on the Sega Genesis, I borrowed it from a friend of mine, and it blew my mind. Just how in-depth this game was. There's the main town that you start in, and as you can see, the visuals are impressive for a Sega Genesis. This came with a battery backup so that it would save your games. You could save 3 different tabs, much like most Japanese RPGs at the time. So you could have multiple games going at different times. But I think the longest that I played it was about 45 to 50 hours, and I still didn't beat it. It's just a fun game. There is a fast travel option eventually that you get later in the game, because the cyborg can turn into a plane and fly you around. Don't ask me how that works. I don't know. I just know that it makes traveling around the map much more friendly and easy to do. Stylistically, it's very similar to other Japanese RPGs. Top-down view. You move your character around, talk to different people. Now, one thing I would point out here, much like other RPGs, is you need to search everything to get the maximum number of items and gold to upgrade your gear and your equipment. But it is a very good game. Again, this is included in the Sega Mega Drive collection, the Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection. You can buy the cartridge, but you're going to look at paying probably over $100 for a complete in-box version, and even then, the condition of that might not be very good. It is a collector's item. There weren't a ton of these games available at the time, so if you're lucky enough to find one and you have the money to burn, I would recommend it. But prepare to pay a pretty penny for it. It's almost easier for you to pick up the Genesis Ultimate Edition or the Mega Drive Edition, because you can get those right now on Xbox Live, on Xbox game service for about $30. So there are ways to play this game without breaking the bank. Like I said, this is the Xbox Series X version. It looks gorgeous, HD visuals, the whole 9 yards, and it runs very well on the Xbox Series X. If you have the Xbox 360 and you are looking to play the Sonic's Ultimate Edition, you'll have the same experience, although the visuals won't be as clean. The last game on the list, this one is probably my favorite Japanese RPG of all time. I'm going to say that right now. Now, full disclosure, I am not playing the original version. I am playing the Pixel Remaster version, and by that, you probably have figured out this is the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster version of the game. I am playing this on the Switch. It is a beautiful remaster of this game. You can pick up the entire series 1 through 6 right now on Nintendo for $40. But it is... I remember we bought this game for the Nintendo Entertainment System when I was in junior high. We bought it from the local video store because it wasn't carried in the department stores where we normally shop. And we ended up paying like $83 for it because that was what they got the game for. And I played the loving S out of this game. I think I logged easily 300 hours in this game. Multiple playthroughs. There are different classes to choose from. You have your warrior, you have your red wizard, you have your black wizard, you have your white wizard, you have your thief. And all of those different classes get to evolve into different jobs and get more powerful later on in the game. So if you play through once with one group of characters, you can go back through and change it up and play with a different group of characters. This was the first game I remember that items actually had abilities. So like there was this one sword that my main character had, and it would be able to cast different spells. Visually, this game was fantastic. It has the world famous combat song that everybody knows. Da 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 da. And it it when I play this game, I am right back in my parents' living room on my Nintendo Entertainment System. I have a diet orange slice next to me and a package of licorice next to me on the other side, and I'm playing the hell out of this game all Saturday afternoon, all Sunday afternoon, every night after school. It had a battery backup. You could save up to 4 different game saves. It was just, it's a fantastic game. And the Pixel remaster is even better because you get better audio, better visuals. This is all HD. Um, as you can see, the water has actually got some motion. The visuals of the combat with the monsters is just, I remember seeing that and my mind was blown. I you get later on as you get through the game, you unlock the airship, you can fly around and explore the world. Summoning is a big deal in this game. It's just a it's a masterpiece. I can't say enough about it. The only criticism I have is absolutely nothing. To me, it's a perfect game. You have to muddle a little bit in the game to find things and learn things, but it's so worth the adventure. It does get grindy, but the grindiness is not so bad because the visuals are so beautiful for a Nintendo Entertainment System. I just remember seeing it and saying, how did they manage to get this to work on a Nintendo Entertainment System? That, like I said, the Pixel Remaster set of 6 games is about $40 on Nintendo Switch Online. You can also get it on PC through Steam. I don't know how much it costs, but my son has it, and he loves them. He's played through them multiple times as well. If you're a Final Fantasy fan and you want to get the first 6 games, this is the way to do it, is the Pixel Remaster Edition, because it's just so gorgeous. And it's and they didn't change anything. They just smoothed out some of the bugs, which I didn't even know there were that many bugs in the game. But, like I said, for a real nostalgia kick, this game is where it's at. To me, it's everything that's great about the Final Fantasy series. And if you pick it up, you will not be disappointed. So, with that, we're going to take a very brief break, and then we're going to come back. We're going to do the play segment. I'm going to wait until we're back from the break to reveal what the play segment is. To me, it's a perfect adaptation of a tabletop RPG, which is the only hint you're going to get from me, but you probably know what game it is by now. So, I'll be back after this. Okay, we're back, and today on our play segment, we are playing Eye of the Beholder for the Super NES. This game was released in 1994 on the SNES, but it was originally released on the PC from SSI, Strategic Simulations, and I absolutely love it. It is based on the second edition Dungeons & Dragons game, which is the game that I played the most of the D&D systems. There's a variety of classes to choose from. The visuals are fantastic. The user interface is pretty intuitive. The music is fantastic. The variety of enemies are drawn straight from the monster manual. And it's, again, D&D 2nd edition, baby. My only criticisms are that it has a level cap. I believe it's level 10. And combat can be a little bit wonky, even if you have six players in your group. The back row can only use missile weapons, which is kind of disappointing because you can have 6 different members of your party. You start out with 4, and we're gonna go ahead and start rolling up our characters right now. In order to get the most bang for your buck, I recommend rolling up a paladin because they have a little bit of healing. They are also combat oriented. They're a very solid class to play. And then what we'll do is we'll just use this face, and we'll keep him. There we go. And we'll name him something clever. Something paladin-y. We'll call him Evan. Oh, no. How do I backspace? I think it's... where's the backspace? That's not helping. That's not helping. Well, we're stuck with that name, I guess. Ewell is his name. Ewell. The Paladin. And then we're going to actually do a Thief, because thieves are great for finding traps. They have a little bit of combat ability. We're going to make him chaotic good, though, because that's just how I roll. Try not to screw up the name on this one. There we go. I didn't even pay attention to what he had. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a cleric and a wizard. Just because of we need healing, and the offensive spells come in handy. He looks kind of cleric-y. We'll use him. What's his wisdom? That's alright. It's not great, but for this purpose, we'll use this. Oh, what do we call him? We'll call him... oh, God. Okay, I guess we'll call him Curd. That's good enough. Curd the Cleric. And then lastly, we'll do a human mage. Now, I don't think you have to choose your school. What's his intel? That's good enough for now. And we'll use him. There we go. I wish you a little bit better con, but whatever. Again, we're just going to demonstrate this game a little bit. There we go. That is the party. So, we're trapped by this cave-in. Just go straight forward. Now this game uses a little bit different design than, for example, wizardry. You actually have to navigate using the arrows. What do we got here? We'll carry these bones with us because we'll be able to well, this guy looks like he's a thief, so we'll take him. Go ahead and throw him into my fighter's backpack, because down the road we will be able to resurrect him. And then we will go... oh, what is this? There's something in that sewer watching us. And it ran away. Good choice. You don't want to mess with this group. We are strong. No, we're not. Okay, that's the way I came from. There's a door. Let's say the thief did not do this properly, so we're going to use this. Interesting that he died. But as you can see, this is absolutely a gorgeous game for a Super Nintendo game. Oh, kobold, time to kill it. Oh, shoot. There we go. Now, we're not going to worry too much about a kobold. We're just not. So I'm not going to waste any spells on him. What's in this door? Hallway. Alright. Well, let's go see what's in here. I do wish that there was a better way to navigate. I wish that there was a mini-map you could look at. But there's not, unfortunately. Now, you can set up camp in the dungeon, but you want to kind of set up in a room that's secure. Because there are wandering monsters that interrupt your camp. What's this? Is this something that I can... No, it's not. But if you have the 2nd edition Player's Handbook, you actually can find out what your characters get as they level up, which is pretty cool. Alright, we're going to take this guy out again. Oh, God. Now, when you're attacking, you want to use the B button. Just highlight the weapons. And there's just so many of them. Hey, we got him. What we got here? Dagger. Oh, okay. Food. But this, the key here is you're going to want to go ahead and keep an eye on your hit points, because if you get too low, you're going to die. And it's a pain in the butt finding a way to resurrect players or characters down here. Oh, there's another food pack. We'll let the warrior carry that. Like I said, it's not real intuitive as far as having to constantly navigate using these little tabs. Now, according to the player's manual or the user's manual, you can use a mouse, but I don't know how you would do that. I think that the Super Nintendo sold a mouse accessory. But I never bought it. But it supposedly it works with that. Oh, there's a thing over here to open this. Let's push this button here and see what happens. Now, this first level is mostly kobolds and goblins, and as you can see, I'm struggling a little bit with the controls. Oh, there's a trap right there. That's cool. Now, this is where a thief would come in handy, because I don't remember what the trap does. Oh, now we're getting attacked. You know what? I'm going to see if he's got sleep. Oh, shoot. I didn't, like, prep my spells. That's not good. Alright, well, we're going to have to be careful here. Well, we're going to have to set up camp sooner than later, I guess. I forgot early on that you actually get a thief. Or the ability to get a thief. Oh boy, this is not good. Alright, we're going to have to find a place to camp, because I'm kind of getting my butt handed to me here. So we're going to go back through this door. because those kobolds are wrecking me, which is kind of annoying. We're going to close this. And I'm going to have to camp and prep my spells because... Okay, I get Magic Missile, and I guess we'll keep Magic Missile. Petition. I'm not sure what that is. Let's find out. Cure Light Wound. No, no, no. We don't want Empower. That's a waste of time. Cure Light Wounds. We'll do Protection from Evil. Yeah, we'll just do that. That's good enough. I don't think I have any other spells that I can actually... Oh! Well! He's never a front row unit, so I don't see a reason to have that. Why do I... Okay. Well, now I gotta see what else my mage has. There we go. Oh, I guess we get Melf's Acid Arrow, alright. See, you gotta be careful. But it basically rests until your characters are fully healed. Which is kind of cool. But also kind of a pain in the butt. Alright. We're gonna give my Thieves tools. Oh no, he's already got them. Okay, cool. So maybe he can disarm this trap. We'll try it. I don't know that he can, but we'll try it. As you can see, I'm struggling with the toggles here to move. I think if I hold Y, it allows me to move. Yep, it allows me to move. Okay, good to know. Good to know. So if you toggle Y button, it allows you to just move. So you don't have to use the stupid toggles. Out how to open that door. Is there a lever somewhere in here? Oh, and then the shoulder bumpers allow you to strafe. Okay, good to know. So there's got to be a button somewhere that we can use to unlock that door. Sometimes there's little imperfections in the wall that you can, like, actually use as buttons. Alright, so it's not anything. I wonder if I have to put a rock in there to open it. That's the only thing I see, so we're going to try that. Okay, it does nothing. Good to know. Alright, so we're going to move on. We're not going to waste a whole lot of time on this. Okay, I remember that. What the heck? Interesting. Oh, that's right. I remember this. I remember this now. I remember now. The door reverses on you. That's what it was. Now that I know that you toggle Y so you can just walk, it makes things a lot easier. But basically, you just kind of wander around until you find what you're looking for. Now, there should be a door over here that... Oh, no, there's not. Oh! See that? Let's see what this opens. Oh, look at that! Secret door. Yeah, buddy. I wonder if this goes back out to the collapsed entryway. Let's find out. Okay. Oh boy, there's something up here on the left. What is it? What is it? Ah, shoot. I don't even remember what these things are. Alright, they're dead. Let's abort the spell. There's no point in using it. Oh, here comes another one. Got rid of that one too. So we're gonna abort this spell. No point in using it. What's down here? Anything worthwhile? Big room with 2 entrances. So let's take a look around. Was that a... No, it wasn't. Just checking for secret doors. Sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. More kobolds. Goody. Okay, there we go. I still can't get over how good this game looks on the Super Nintendo. It's just a great game. It really is. let's see if I can save this. I don't think I can. Maybe not. Okay. All right, so here I picked this game up complete in box, 10 years ago, I think, and I got it for $30. If you shop around, you could probably find a complete in box for a reasonable price. I absolutely love it because it's Dungeons and Dragons. It is a difficult game because you kind of got to explore, and there is no auto map feature, which really sucks. So if you really are enterprising, you can actually graph things out if you want. But as far as Dungeons and Dragons goes, short of like PC games on console, this is the best adaptation of Dungeons and Dragons that I've encountered. Now, obviously, people are gonna say, "Well, what about Baldur's Gate 3, and what about the remaster of Baldur's Gate, etc., etc." Yeah, I'm not gonna argue that, but I'm saying as far as retro games are concerned, this is the best adaptation of Dungeons and Dragons for console. This is the Super Nintendo version. This is the only version that came out. It did come out on Sega CD later, but I have not played that version. I would like to get my hands on that version so I could give it a try. But I imagine it's very similar. Probably a little bit better graphics. But with that, that's all I've got this week. As I always say, remember, be safe, be kind, and remember, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, you do matter, and people do love you. So take it easy, everybody.